Hey people, Rio Wolfhard here. Hope you're doing good. I got myself the top box from U Audio. Or is it called UA Audio or U Audio? It's a pretty cool device. I've been thinking about getting that box for quite some time, and it took a while because obviously there is a downside. It's pretty expensive, but that's the only downside I can find on that product, on that piece of gear. I love it, and here's the reasons why. First of all, it's two products in one. You have an attenuator, so if you're playing too loud and the front of house guy comes to you, hey, turn that amp down, no problem. You have an attenuator, you can do that. Secondly, you have a cab simulator, so no need to mic your cab anymore. Actually, you can leave your cab at home or sell it if you want, if you have that top box, because you're not going to need it anymore. You can use it, and I would advise you to keep your amp because the combinations you can do are pretty awesome, and we'll get to that later. But so that's the second thing. It's a cab simulator, and it does an extremely cool job. So I can't hardly tell the difference between. Actually, I can't tell the difference at all between a real mic'd amp or speaker and the top box. For me, it feels the same, it sounds the same, it's just awesome, I love it. Then there's the plug-in side, the software side of the top box. If you know U Audio, UA Audio, whatever it's called, if you know that company, you know that their software and plugins are I think they're like one of the best you can get right now as a working musician, as someone who has to pay the bills, and you can't afford to buy all the outboard gear, all the real stuff, all the RP preamps and Neve preamps and all that stuff. Like that's if that's way too expensive for you. Like, it's probably for most of the people, the U Audio stuff is the solution, because you can get an Apollo. Whoa, what's up with my chair? You can get that Apollo, and with the plugins, you are as close as you can get to the real thing. Again, I'm not an expert in that range by any means, but from what I've heard, again, I can't tell the difference between the real thing and the plugins from U Audio. So, and that's the same plugins used here in the top box. It's just the best of the best in the recording world, I think. The delay sounds awesome, the compression sounds awesome, the EQ sounds awesome, the reverb sounds awesome. It's all really cool. Now you can choose between different mics. You can, I think you can adjust the position of the mics a little bit. But basically, if you just take the default setup, it's already gonna sound good. Just plug and play, basically. You can't go wrong. The thing that I changed immediately, I swapped I swapped a condenser mic with a ribbon mic. So now I have a ribbon. It's like a Roya 121 and a Shure SM57 mic combination. That's just a combination that I've been working with since 2012, since Michael Wagner showed me that combination. It's an industry standard, of course, but I didn't know it before. And it's basically the way that Michael Wagner mics all his amps, or used to mic all his amps. I don't know if he still does it that way. And I think it sounds awesome. It's the thing for me. I love it. I love it. What else? It's the thing. There's things you can do live with this thing. You can just take your amp, take your cabinet and your amp, and take the top box. And what you can do now is you're playing live. you're on a big or small stage, whatever. Just let's say you're in a small venue. Normally, you can't crank your amp on in a small venue without blasting everybody's head away. In not a positive way. I mean, really blasting it away in a negative way. So you're gonna have to go down with your volume. The front of house guy is gonna want that too, and it's just smarter to listen to these guys sometimes. So put your volume down. You can crank your now with the top box. You can crank your master volume, get that sweet spot of your amp, and then just attenuate it back down to a reasonable volume that everybody's happy with. Now the cool thing is, obviously, you still have your amp sound, you still have your tube power sound that's coming out of your cab. It's not like playing a camper where you have that awesome sound, but it's just coming out of a monitor speaker. And monitor speakers they can sound quite okay, but sometimes they can sound shitty, and it's never gonna sound like your tube amp. I mean, it's not gonna feel like a tube amp. That's the biggest thing for me. It's just not as fun to play. I owned a camper, I sold it again, because that was just the reason. It just wasn't fun for me. Now the top box, completely different. Now I can combine. I can take my amp, play that thing, take the simulated cab sound, give it to the front of house man. Now he can work with that signal. It's gonna be the same signal today in a small club, and when you're on tour, let's say you're playing today in a small club and tomorrow on a big festival, it's gonna be exactly the same sound. Unless you change it, of course. But let's say you want a ribbon mic, you want an SM57, and you want a little bit of room. Now that's something that's impossible. Normally, you can't have a room sound live. It's just not possible. Now, it is possible, and I think that's an option that's absolutely awesome. I've been playing around with that room microphone, just trying to get like a Jimmy Page tone, because I read a long time ago that Jimmy Page, when he did his productions with Led Zeppelin, he tried to combine a close miking with a lot of room sound to achieve his guitar tone. I've been tweaking around the Ox, and I've been getting quite close, I think. Anyway, it's pretty fun, and it's a cool option to have. That being said, the room sound, it sounds awesome. It's just so well made, and now in my place right here in the Wolf Cave, as we call it, I actually do have a room where I can mic a speaker cabinet and crank my amp. It's still gonna be loud. The neighbors are okay with it, I think, but I can't do it in the middle of the night. I still have to stick to some rules for the neighbors for it to be okay. And my room doesn't sound cool. It's not a good sounding room. It's just an old. I don't even know what kind of room it used to be. But it doesn't have a good room sound. That's what I'm trying to say. It's good for close miking. It works for that. But for room sound, I wouldn't want to use it. I would have to invest a lot of money into that room for it to sound good, and a lot of time. And I think that is better spent in getting one of these products. A top box, or a Boss, a tube amp, expander, Waza thing, or the Torpedo. Any kind of these, I think, is better than investing in trying to make a room sound better. Well, so that's it, people. That's my thoughts to the Ox Box. I hope you liked the video. Let me know what you think about it. Please subscribe to the channel, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.